Well, good morning. Welcome back to another video. And welcome back once again to the banks of the mighty River Trent for another little walk in our River Trent series. And we've started today's walk. We've just crossed Trent Bridge in Gainsborough. We're actually on the Nottinghamshire side, on the west bank. Gainsborough just on the other side, on the Lincolnshire side. Now, our destination today, it's only a short one, maybe 6 miles, 7 miles, is a little village of West Stockwith. So this little area here, this little wooded area, if you're local, you'll know what it is. It's called Dog Island. It's not actually an island. I don't think anybody really knows why it's got the name Dog Island, but it's the remains of a homestead moat. It's kind of square in shape with embankments around its edges, apart from this edge along the riverside. Yeah, it's one of them strange little quirky little mysteries. I'll get the drone up and you'll be able to see it better from above. Now this area, we're kind of in between Gainsborough as the village of Beckingham is just up here, and we're on the border. So we've got Lincolnshire on that side, we're in Nottinghamshire, and South Yorkshire is maybe 7 or 8 miles that way. Anyway, this area, underneath this beautiful woodland and farmland, is one of the biggest gas reserves in the UK. And I reckon it holds an estimated 16 trillion cubic feet. I don't know how to know that. How is it even possible to know that? But anyway, so we are walking on top of a mass amount of gas. But whether they start extracting it and making use of it, I know they did at some point. There was fracking, doing a little bit of fracking down on this area, but I don't know if they still do it. A bit of low-key fracking. And there's also the Beckingham West oil field. There is an oil well just beyond these trees. We might actually go back that way, because there is a path. We're going to go to Stockwith and come kind of back round through Beckingham. And if I remember rightly, there's a path that we can take that takes you through. So we might go back that way. I'll better show you a bit better there. But yeah, the Beckingham West oil field. So they discovered this in the mid-80s. And at the minute it's producing 300 barrels of crude oil and about 1 million cubic feet of natural gas every day. And just across the river, back onto the Gainsborough side, just where those grey buildings are now, that's where the Rose Brothers factory once stood. And if you like your chocolates, if you don't know this already, Mr. Cadbury visited that factory when it was Rose Brothers. I saw the Rose Brothers individual sweet wrapping machine and thought, we'll have some of that. And so the name Cadbury's Roses came from that building just there. Well, what was on that site just there. It's a little bit of a trip down memory lane actually, this walk. So I've done this path hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, either on foot or cycling. Sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, half broken after a late shift or a night shift. Because I used to work Just coming up to the old shipyard at Beckingham. I used to work just down there for about, how long did I work there for? 9 years. Best job in the world. It's the first time I've been down here actually in ages. Happy days. Alright. So back in the day, this would have been, get over this wall in a sec, if we can. This would have been a really busy wharf. So all the stuff would have come down, mainly timber, to go to the timber yard, which is just down there. So this route we're taking along the bank, this is actually part of the Trent Valley Way. We've done lots and lots of the little bits of this. This is interesting. I've just noticed this on the map actually. This is new. Well, it's not new, but it's new to me. So on the map we can go along this top flood bank, or we can come off and go on to the Trent Valley Way, which follows right along the river, which is full of nettles. You can see the finger post for it there, across that bridge. So the river's literally 10-15 metres down there. But because I've got shorts on, I think we'll get that bit of miss. But we do pick up the Trent Valley Way just past this pumping station down here. So that is what we shall do. Cracking views over Nottinghamshire. These wheat fields, another few weeks will be golden yellow, ready for harvest. Harvest is only about a month away. West Burton in the background. You can just make out Cotton Power Station in the distance there. And we've got another deer. I think it's clocked me actually. It's just, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. It's just about there on the slope of the bank. I think it's clocked me. See it just running down over the other side of the bank. Brilliant, isn't it? Just seeing wildlife just doing what they do. Get yourselves out, people. If you don't come out and have a look, you don't get to see stuff. Yeah, so we've kind of lost the Trent for a little bit. Only behind these trees. We're kind of level with Morton Corner. Now Morton's a village just outside of Gainsborough. Morton Corner's a real sharp hairpin kind of bend. So the river flows that way and then comes real sharp back this way and then back along. But I can just see the finger post for the Trent Valley Way. So we'll pick that back up. It's just literally just down here. Alright, so there's Morton Corner, which we've been talking about. Where those houses are down there. And you get the idea now. The river's really, really, really low because we've had literally nothing in terms of any significant rain. Obviously we've had a really, really dry spring as well. If you've seen any of my other videos further downstream, where the river's a bit more gravelly and rocky and a bit more clear, you get the idea just how silty it is down this end. It's literally pure mud, which gives the river it's not mucky. It's not a mucky river, far from it. It's just the silt that makes it brown. and it looks mucky, but you really wouldn't want to get stuck in there. Big pumping stations. Alright, this is going to be interesting because I need to get, there's a footbridge just there. I need to get through this in shorts. May the Lord have mercy on my soul and all that. That deer's still down there. I think the safest option, without getting nettled and fistled and everything, see, what was all the worry about? Poppies. That deer's just down there. You can't. You're definitely going to be able to pick it up on camera, but it's there. All I can see is kind of the top of its head and its ears, looking back at me. See the two tractor tyre marks on the right hand side? You can just see it. There we go. What was all the fuss about? Famous last words. Hey. It really is a cracking little bit of the Trent Valley Way, this. You've got all these views and fields on one side. And you've got all the nature and everything going on with the river on the other. Got no road noise, no traffic, nothing, none of that. I'm not seeing a soul. Admittedly, it is quite early, but all we got wind noise, bird song. Beautiful. Right, so we're just coming up to West Stockwith. We've got East Stockwith over the river on the Lincolnshire side. And both villages were once joined by a ferry back in the day, but that's long gone. It's quite deceiving actually. Looking at the river as low as it is now, it looks quite narrow. Well, obviously because of the profile of the river, and the river being so low, it's usually where the bushes meet the sort of mud bank. It's usually kind of up around there. Alright, time for a breather. Proper warm now, proper warm. So this here, West Stockwith Lock. That's West Stockwith Basin and the start of, or the finish of, the Chesterfield Canal. I tell you what, there's some power in that river today. It's absolutely ripping through. It's running right to left. It's proper way, so it's running out to sea. Not sure what time high tide is today, but it's absolutely ripping through. So there's not much water in it. So not only is Stockwith the point at where the Chesterfield Canal comes into the Trent, past those gates there, it's not Jurassic Park. The other side of those gates is the River Idle, which flows under the road, on the other side into the river. Across the road without getting hit. Shit! Okay, now I have to cut that bit out. Alright, so on one side we've got Stockwith Basin, which then leads to the Chesterfield Canal. Brilliant little place to come and visit Stockwith. Cracking pub there, the waterfront. There's another pub further down the road, I forget what it's called. Yeah, so you can walk down the Trent, you can take advantage of the Trent Valley Way. You can walk, this is the Cuckoo Way, that takes you to, I think it's the full length of the canal, I think. I have walked some of this on some previous videos. Yeah, come to Stockwith. Couple of pints, some food, a nice walk along the canal, perfect. Right, so we've left West Stockwith behind, and we're back on the return journey back to Gainsborough now. But we're not going to follow the exact same route back. I'm going to cut away from the river a little bit, just a little bit further down here, through the village of Beckingham, down Old Trent Road, past Beckingham Marshes, and I'm going to see if we can get back past that oil field I was talking about at the beginning of the video. We've got two chances, so let's go and give it a go. Well, we're finally making us way down, back down to the River Trent. We've just come through Beckingham village. And you know when you go the long way round, and it ends up being the long way round. That took ages. It's absolutely boiling. It's only about 9:30, but that sun's proper up now, and it's, Jesus Christ, baking. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So we're on a long slog now back down to the Trent, like I said, down Old Trent Road. Beckingham's back that way, and hopefully we can cut through past that oil field. But if not, it'll be back along the River Trent, along Trent Bank even, back to Trent Bridge, back into Gainsborough, and that will conclude another part of our journey along the River Trent. But we shall see. We've got about another half a mile to get down there yet anyway, so what a stunner of a morning. So this whole area is actually a floodplain, designated floodplain. Beckingham, I think it's called Beckingham Relief Flood Reservoir or something like that it's called, proper name for it. But just past those trees there, there's Beckingham RSPB Nature Reserve. So when the Trent floods, this is a bit that usually gets it. So obviously all that silt, nutrient rich silt from the river, Makes it good for growing crops. Right, so we've made it back to the Trent, and as you can see, the tide is within the last half hour, 40 minutes has come in. It's now flowing that way. There's a massive difference in the height, so it's a decent tide. So you can remember how low it was, you could see the mud banks and everything. So as I said, we're back up on the river, on the river bank, heading back in towards Gainsborough. I did have a look at going down. There's a track that takes you down past the gas and oil field, but it's gated off. I'm not sure if you can get down to it. I don't want to go all the way down to it and have to come all the way back, to go all the way back down across and down the river bank. So we'll give that a miss. There's nothing to see really anyway. It's just a couple of nodding donkeys and a couple of buildings and stuff, but yeah, it's so hot. It's so hot, it's unbelievable. Alright, on that note, I'll bring this video to an end. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this little journey along the river. Another couple of miles off our journey along the tidal Trent. I think we've only got about another 10 miles to do now. So hopefully get that done in the next few months. So if you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll try and answer them. Try. So until next time, wherever our next adventure would be, keep talking. Remember to keep talking. Get yourselves out in the open. Clear your heads. Breathe it in, soak it in. Good for you. And I shall see you all very, very soon.